This is He Knows the Sport, bringing you that heat and that fart. We're going to talk about Gervonta Davis versus Yuriorkis Gamboa. Listen, folks. That's a fight that's going to actually surprise a lot of folks. Let me say it again. It's a fight that's going to actually surprise a lot of folks. Because Gervonta Davis is going to take him some time before he gets that KO power stoppage against Yuriorkis Gamboa. Let me say it again. It's going to take Gervonta Davis some time before he gets that KO power stoppage against Yuriorkis Gamboa. Everybody thinks he's just going to blow the dude out the water. Yuriorkis Gamboa is an older fighter, but he's an older, savvy fighter. He's a fighter that has a Cuban background and a Cuban pedigree. He's a fighter that has actual boxing skills. So even though he's lost a few steps, which is prevalent, even though we know he's gone through what we call the aging process, which is prevalent, you guys have to remember there was a time where Gamboa was the most avoided guy in that damn division. Mikey Garcia ducked his ass at the right time. He made sure he didn't have no parts of that dude. This guy gave Terrence Bud Crawford a stanky leg. People forgot that. He was outboxing Terrence Bud Crawford in the first half of that fight. Almost put Terrence Bud Crawford in deep waters. Now, I got to give Terrence Bud Crawford credit. He figured his ass out. But Gamboa almost got Terrence Bud Crawford out of there. Now, people are like, well, Gervonta Davis is just fighting a Gamboa that's old. But here's the thing about certain older fighters. They can surprise you. Especially older Cuban pedigree style fighters. We've seen this in the heavyweight division with Luis Ortiz. And we're seeing this with Gamboa. Cuban fighters have an excellent amateur background and excellent pedigree. They can box. That's common. You see this with Erislan Dilar. You've seen this with Dennis Ugas. You see this with, Guillermo Rigondeaux. You see this with, all of a sudden now, Yuriorkis Gamboa. You see this. It's a common thread with these guys. It's like they all come from that same school of knowing that they need to have such a accomplished amateur background so that they can be successful in the pros. They're big on this stuff in Cuba. A lot of Cuban fighters doesn't get talked about, but a lot of them have skills to pay the fucking bills. Let me say it again. A lot of them have skills to pay the bills. That's why you're Dennis Ugas. And if you notice, a lot of times they're the boogeymen of their division. Erislan Dilar was a boogeyman. He beat Canelo Alvarez. He got robbed of that. Dennis Ugas is currently the boogeyman of the welterweight division. Gamboa used to be the boogeyman of the lightweight division, the super lightweight division at one point. And then when you sit there and you look at, Luis Ortiz, come on. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. Rigondeaux. Not only was he the man at his division, but he was also the freaking boogeyman, dog, at 126. So people have to understand, this fight against, Yuriorkis Gamboa is not going to be an easy fight like that. It's going to take Tank some time before he can time Gamboa, because it's a style that he's not used to. This is a guy who's going to test him for the first few rounds. Now, Tank Davis is going to figure this dude out, because clearly he's the younger fighter. Clearly he's the most skilled fighter. Clearly he's the fighter that, has the legs. And clearly he is basically Roy Jones meets Mike Tyson. So I expect Tank Davis to do what he always does to each and every one of his opponents, get them out of there. This ain't going to be no quick knockout. Anyone that thinks that's going to be the case, y'all need to get a chill pill. Let me say it again. Anyone that thinks that this is going to be the case needs to get a chill pill. This is not going to be a quick knockout. And I'm telling you this right now because I see it. I see it for what it is. Gervonta Davis is going to beat Gamboa, but I got him stopping him anywhere between 7 and 8 rounds, because I think they're going to mix it up for the first 4 to 5 rounds. And then I think by round 5, that's when you're going to see the difference in the youthfulness, and the difference in the hand speed, and the difference in basically Gervonta Tank Davis and it being his time as the smaller guy. I told you, he's the best small guy in the division. You're going to start seeing him turn things around by round 5. And then from round 5 going up to round 8, that's when you're going to see him systematically start chopping away and start breaking down Gamboa. And then that's when he's going to set up the knockout. But it ain't going to be no fight where he's just going to come in there like a Hugo Ruiz, you know what I'm saying, and then just knock the dude's head off, or like a Ricardo Nunez. It ain't going to be nothing like that. There's going to be a systematic effect that's going to take place for Gervonta Tank Davis to set up the knockout, because he's actually dealing in there with a fighter, although he's older, remember, he's a fighter that still wants to continue to show that he has something left in the tank. And usually these fighters are dangerous. Luis Colasso was like that for a while. You know what I'm saying? Raimundo Beltran was like that for a while. These types of fighters, when they're older like this, you have to account for them, because they always have to show you that, hey, I'm fighting for something. Either I'm fighting for family, I'm fighting for relevancy, I'm fighting to still let you know that I still have something in the tank. So just keep that in mind and account for that when you think about this type of fight. Gamboa is fighting for his relevancy. He's fighting for legitimacy to still show that he belongs in the pack. So this is why I believe he's going to give Gervonta Tank Davis some fits in this fight. But I also believe Gervonta Tank Davis is going to figure his ass out, and then he's going to knock his ass out. Remember, you heard it here first from He Knows the Sport. This is how this fight is going to go. I got Gervonta Tank Davis by KO power stoppage, anywhere between 7 to 8 rounds. This is He Knows the Sport. Check it out.